Is the burnt bridge with my brother unfixable?
I don't hate your brother.
He made a diss track on you, though.
You know what's funny about your brother? He's gonna fight fucking Gervonta Davis. It's like when you
who do you got?
You guys need to fight guys your fucking same size. You know what I mean? When you fought Floyd, you are massive. You're a massive fucking dude. Floyd's tiny. And I'm sure when you were training, you're like, all right, I'm gonna hit this guy with a couple punches and grab him, tie him up. And he did hit you with a fucking bomb of an overhand right one time. And you fucking ate it. You ate that punch. And Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than fucking Floyd, but he's too small. I mean, your brother's gonna be able to, get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up.
I hear your critique on fighting guys the same size as you. Is that why you guys wouldn't let me fight Connor?
Is that why what?
Is that why you wouldn't let me fight Connor?
Oh, you're not fucking gonna fight Connor. You're fucking huge. Connor weighs 145 pounds, 155 pounds.
Yeah, but he says he can beat me, and I think people would tune in.
But everybody thinks that. I mean, everybody thinks that. If he said, I can't beat fucking Logan Paul, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He's gonna say that. He's a fucking professional fighter.
Jake Paul made it official. Jake Paul is fighting Gervonta Tank Davis. Jake Paul, guys, I'm all for fun fights. I'm all for big events. I will talk about what the fight entails. I don't think for 1 second that Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul in a boxing match is a complete mismatch on the side of Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is that much better than Jake Paul at boxing.
Almost 100-pound weight difference. It's insane. Let's say he comes in at 200 pounds. It's still a 65-pound weight advantage, which is absolutely ridiculous. How can you be out there claiming to want to fight the best people on the planet and then going out there and taking on a guy that is maybe 92 pounds heavier, that is at least 65 pounds heavier than you? That is called one thing. That's called being a bully.
What do you make of Tank versus Gervonta?
It's a joke. It's a joke, Yeah, it's a joke. It's going to be like Mike Tyson. It's going to be a sparring match, and after they're going to just steal everybody's money.
You going to watch it?
In a recent interview, he sent out a warning to critics, insisting that people continue to underestimate him. Paul claimed that his self-belief combined with knockout power would be the deciding factor if he ever stepped into the ring against Gervonta Tank Davis.
That's in disgrace of a fight.
Yeah.
You know it. Just like Mike Tyson, low-key was a disgrace, but we accepted it. But
yeah,
he was 60 years old. The casuals don't see the weight difference. They see Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis.
Yeah.
And if Gervonta Davis doesn't fuck up Jake Paul, they're going to think Jake Paul is some pound-for-pound champion type of fighter.
Yeah.
Gervonta Davis, he's actually really small. Like, when I fought him, he's small.
Yeah.
So I just think it's a very unfair.
On the other side of the debate, UFC legend Daniel Cormier offered a very different take. Unlike many critics, he didn't see the matchup as completely unfair. Cormier explained it in simple terms. Jake Paul brings size while Gervonta Davis brings skill. That contrast alone in his eyes makes the idea intriguing. He admitted that while the matchup is unconventional, fights where size meets skill often spark curiosity and capture the attention of fans.
Maybe he'll fight Jake Paul instead. What do you think of that?
I think that's terrible.
Why?
I get it, because at the end of the day, it's a money business, and you want to make the most money, but from what I'm hearing, he can make more money in a fight with me, and if that's the case, why not fight me?
Sure. Do you think he beats Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah.
There's a huge size advantage, though.
It is, but I think Tank got the skills to make sure he come out on top.
Do you think that Jake has gone better?
Yeah, I think actually Jake got tremendously better from the time frame that he started till now. And in the right situation, I also could see him become a world champion.
Really?
But Daniel Cormier's stance was very much the exception. As Shakur Stevenson came forward with a harsh rebuttal, Stevenson slammed the idea of the matchup, calling it a complete mismatch. In his view, this wasn't a case of skill versus size, it was simply a money grab. He argued that Tank Davis chasing a fight with Jake Paul would send the wrong message about his career and shift focus away from building a true legacy. For Stevenson, boxing deserves more than spectacle-driven matchups, and he made it clear he wasn't impressed with the idea at all.
What about the rumors of Tank and Jake fight?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that, and he called cap on it. So if he won't call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it. So I think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going left. So he better be on his.
Shakur Stevenson didn't hold back in a follow-up interview, where he doubled down on his stance. This time, he went straight at Tank Davis, saying that taking a fight with Jake Paul would be nothing short of an insult to the sport. Stevenson admitted Tank has already earned his respect as a fighter, but warned that throwing it all away for a quick payday would send the wrong message to fans and future boxers. He stressed that the sport doesn't need sideshow attractions, and urged Tank to think twice before damaging his hard-earned reputation.
Like it, if I'm honest. I mean, I think we need to really differentiate between boxing and an entertainment concept, and that's what that is. It's a freak show, it's entertainment, it's a lightweight fighting a cruiserweight, you know, with, I don't know, is it bigger gloves and certain minutes per round, I don't know what it is, but, you know, I understand the market and I understand this freak show, shock kind of the world mentality of people potentially tuning in. Is that a step too far? Maybe. I mean, I hated Jake Paul against Mike Tyson.
Eddie Hearn, one of boxing's top promoters, closed the discussion with a blunt assessment. He admitted that a matchup like this could draw attention and sell tickets, but made it clear that it shouldn't be mistaken for real boxing. To Hearn, this type of fight is pure entertainment disguised as sport. He warned that the real danger is how it misleads casual fans into confusing spectacle with genuine competition.
It's a £100 weight difference. It's insane. Let's say he comes in at £200. It's still a £65 weight advantage, which is absolutely ridiculous. How can you be out there claiming to want to fight the best people on the planet and then going out there and taking on a guy that is maybe 92 pounds heavier, that is at least 65 pounds heavier than you? That is called one thing. That's called being a...
Former UFC champion Michael Bisping didn't hold back when weighing in. In a fiery reaction, he blasted the idea as an embarrassment to combat sports. According to Bisping, matching up Tank Davis, a proven pound-for-pound star, against Jake Paul, who still has limited professional experience, is nothing short of absurd. He stressed that the fight has nothing to do with competition and everything to do with money, warning fans not to be fooled by the size difference hype.
November 14th, and it's an exhibition bout. Of course, it's an exhibition bout because no athletic commission in their right mind will sanction this fight. There's just no way you can make this a legitimate fight because of the size advantage. Typically, this would be very, very dangerous and someone could get really hurt. If Jake Paul was to swing as hard as he could and connect and wobble him and hit him many, many times and not knock him out, with the bigger gloves and the concussion possibilities and the brain rattling around inside the head, and Jake Paul just teeing off at him as hard as he could, it's dangerous.
Bisping's frustration came from what he saw as a real danger in the matchup. He reminded fans that weight classes exist for a reason, to protect fighters and make sure contests stay fair and safe. In his view, putting an elite but smaller boxer like Tank Davis against someone with Jake Paul's size is reckless and could lead to serious consequences. Bisping blasted the whole idea as putting spectacle above safety, warning that it could jeopardize both men's futures in very different ways.
What don't you understand about this? If you want respect from your peers, if you want everyone on the planet to look at you and take you seriously and give you credit as a boxer, you have to take on challenges that are real. You have to go up against someone that keeps you up at night, against someone that gets you out of bed in the morning to go for a run because the fear of them beating you down is real. Not going up against someone that is so small. If you were to go up to this guy in a bar and try and start a fight with them, people would look at you and say one word: whoa, 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 stop being such a bully. Leave him alone. You are way bigger than this guy. And that's clearly what we have.
Bisping didn't hold back when speaking directly to Jake Paul. He warned that chasing matchups like this won't build credibility. It'll ruin it. Fans, he argued, want to see Jake step in against legitimate opponents, not chase gimmicks. Calling out Tank Davis in Bisping's eyes was the wrong move entirely. He cautioned that if Jake continues picking fights that don't make sense, the respect he's earned so far could vanish, leaving him seen more as a sideshow than a serious fighter.
Tank versus Gervonta versus
It's a joke. It's a joke, you know. Yeah, it's a joke. It's gonna be like Mike Tyson. It's gonna be a sparring match, and after they're gonna just steal everybody's money. Same
you
thing.
gonna watch it?
No.
Dylan Dennis didn't hold back when weighing in on Jake Paul. In typical blunt fashion, he accused Jake of exploiting fans with matchups designed only for profit. According to Dennis, Jake's focus is no longer on improving as a boxer. It's about chasing paydays and leveraging big names to sell events. For him, the idea of fighting Tank Davis is just another example that Jake is prioritizing money over meaningful competition.
Gervonta Davis's guarantee.
I call bullshit.
Paul.
Me too.
I call bullshit.
$200 million is a lot of money.
That'd be the most any athletes ever made in one event, in one night. Where are they getting that money?
I mean, it's Netflix.
Okay. Mike Tyson didn't make that. Jake Paul didn't make that.
Yeah. 20 million, I would believe, not 200 million.
20 million seems realistic.
That's a lot.
Even because Netflix is bigger, but there's no pay-per-view model. So, and Gervonta is a big pay-per-view draw, especially for being a lighter weight class.
Yeah.
So 20 to even 40 I can get.
Oof, that's a lot.
40 I can understand.
When push comes to shove, though, you know, like 20.
Like Canelo's getting that 40.
Yeah.
But Gervonta Davis, he was, especially on Showtime, he was a big pay-per-view star.
Yeah.
He's a knockout artist. 200 mil is just completely false.
God, Jake is so much bigger.
Yeah, man.
I mean, so much bigger.
I don't get it. If he thinks this is going to make him legitimate in boxing, I just don't get it.
Brendan Schaub also backed Dylan Dennis's stance, blasting the idea of Jake Paul versus Tank Davis as nothing more than a circus act. The former UFC fighter labeled it a blatant money grab, arguing that it disrespects both the sport and the fans who want to see real competition. Schaub stressed that while Jake and Tank might cash in heavily, genuine fighters continue to struggle for opportunities. To him, this matchup is the definition of a quick payday and doesn't even deserve serious consideration.
Today we're going to talk about the boxing world and another fight that Jake Paul just booked for his joke of a career against a 65-plus smaller guy than him in Gervonta Davis. Jake Paul is a circus sideshow for low IQ incels. Nobody should be falling for this carny bullshit about him being a real fighter. Gervonta is a million times better than him, so he has to handicap Gervonta's skill by being a giant lab rat with a 65-plus weight advantage over him. This is a joke. This is a mockery to the sport of fighting. You know, the best are supposed to fight the best. Why is he fighting a guy that's, you know, in his last fight, Mike Tyson, who, you know, he's got a 40-year age gap between them? You know, why are you fighting a guy that should be in line for, you know, the early bird special, not fighting in a boxing ring, and Mike Tyson? Now you're fighting a guy who is, you know, tiny. He's a 130-pound fighter. You fight in the 210, 220 weight range. So, you know, this is another joke in Jake Paul's career. You know, he claims to want to be a real fighter, but, you know, he's not taking the real steps to be real fighters and fighting, you know, top 10 guys and fighting the best guys in the world. You know, he fights, you know, these circus sideshows against guys that have no business being in there against him. So, you know, I guess this is the state of boxing. It's dead. UFC took over, and, you know, this is what you get now. You get this YouTuber who, you know, is on Lizzie McGuire, and he wants to claim to be a real fighter, but he doesn't want to fight real fighters. So, you know, I think it's ironic, though. Why would he hire a lawyer to sue people that say that his fights are fixed if they weren't, allegedly? So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. You guys do the math. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
Colby Covington, never shy about voicing his opinions, poured gasoline on the fire with his criticism. He declared that if Jake Paul versus Tank Davis ever took place, it would be nothing short of a slap in the face to the fight game. Covington emphasized that true fighters dedicate their entire lives to building legacies, while Jake tries to shortcut his way in with publicity stunts. In his view, Tank Davis has nothing to gain and everything to lose from such a matchup, making the whole idea a complete insult to the sport.
Just here at Los Naranjos in Viva, España, and I found out that Gervonta Davis is now fighting Jake Paul. So Jake Paul was supposed to be fighting AJ. Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we've just spoke about. What next for AJ? Potentially Jake Paul. But it now looks like that Jake Paul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been played? Let me know what you think. But the AJ fight with Jake Paul's finished. Gervonta Davis, fake Paul, November. I don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. This is an absolute joke. What next for AJ? We'll get into this, and there's so many questions I want to get.
Carl Froch didn't hold back when giving his take, making it clear that a fight like Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis should never even make it past the rumor stage. The former world champion stressed that boxing is built on competition, legacy, and skill, not circus-style exhibitions. Froch warned that if promoters keep chasing stunts instead of real matchups, loyal fans will eventually walk away from the sport. In his eyes, this proposed fight isn't just unnecessary, it's damaging to boxing's long-term credibility.
A lot of things can happen. I mean, Jake Paul might be too big for him, but like, Jake Paul might be too big for him, or Tank might crack him. You don't know. Like I said, like, or it's an exhibition. We don't know if they throw at each other or not, or we don't know. I don't know. I can't give an opinion because I don't know what's going on.
So what do you think? Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis. A legit matchup or just pure nonsense? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll be the first to catch the next update.